December. Surely the most magical time of the year. Anticipation, shorter days, chilly nights. But a season so often tarnished by advertising and consumerism. The constant need to buy gifts, to buy our way out of trouble. But there's one gift which doesn't cost a penny if you know where to look. Neither seen nor touched, but more memorable than any other I can imagine. That, my friends, is music. This is my new trolley, viewers. It does a simply magnificent job of carrying all my equipment. Fish and chips, anyone? This church is considerably more ancient than it looks. In the late 19th century, it was completely redesigned by the architect William Butterfield, who also worked on Keble College in Oxford. There's a lot of stigma attached to Victorian church restorations, but I can't really knock Butterfield. As a beacon of this village community, the church looks wonderful. Let's go inside and have some fun. Lovely place. And this is where we are. White Parish. Stopped raining. Come on in. Oh, the trolley beat me to it. How did that happen? I am honoured that this church has already been lit for me. And something else very special here. Something of huge comfort to the organist just come over here. It means a lot to me because it's warm. Such a beautiful church. All Saints Church, White Parish. Full of colour and vibrancy. Such a welcoming church. This village is midway between the cathedral city of Salisbury and the abbey town of Romsey. For many hundreds of years, the church has been a place of refuge for pilgrims. It's no surprise. Look at the stained glass. It's 2 o'clock. Time for a guidebook. The original church was built by the Saxons. From the earliest times, travellers and pilgrims between the cathedral city of Salisbury and the abbey town of Romsey would have passed this way. Perhaps some of them would have visited this church as you've done and found it a welcome place of rest. I certainly agree with that. The small Saxon church, which now forms the east end and sanctuary, was added to in 1190 AD. A Saxon arch and a blocked door in the north wall of the chancel indicate the existence of this earlier building. The west door and window are both 14th century. Outside on the west wall are some reset 12th century stones. One is the greater part of a medieval cresset or oil lamp. Another is carved with a chevron, and yet another, which is wedge-shaped, is a voussoir and probably formed the headstone on an arch which may have been part of the original north door. A call to modernisation profoundly stirred our Victorian ancestors in 1867, when both the north and south aisles were widened and rebuilt. Unfortunately, they removed the box pews and the choir gallery with its old barrel organ, which was reputed to play only 5 tunes. That's 2 more than I can play. The church contains various monuments to the Eyre and St. Barbe families. One of the most fascinating is on the west wall, to the right of the west door, and records that Giles Eyre, who having failed to... It's 2:45, viewers. And records that Giles Eyre, who having failed to support his king in 1640, was ruthlessly robbed of the vast sum of 2,000 value and was ... This enigma was only solved in 1992, when an American descendant of the family sent a copy of the original inscription without the asterisks. This showed that, to the family's shame, Giles Eyre was publicly flogged. Just look at this glorious machine, as vibrant as the church in which it stands. One manual, that's all we need. Don't need any more keyboards at all. One division on this organ, mainly for accompanying hymns, but also excellent for voluntaries. And down below, a full-size pedal board. This is called a concave pedal board, which means it's slightly rounded so that it's easier to play. You can just about see that from here. Many organs, especially in village churches, still have straight pedal boards, which are fine. They're just slightly more awkward to get your feet into. But here, concave. The only stop used by the pedal board alone is the board-on, the 16-foot stop. Let me just show you on the back of the organ so you can see the pipes. I hope you're enjoying the more stabilised view today. I have a new piece of equipment. Anyway, here are the board-on pipes. So those are those 16-foot lowest bass notes. That big dark box is the swell box, which contains many of the pipes. That pedal board can also play the notes from the keyboard using this manual to pedal coupler. Then working up the manuals, an 8-foot open diapason, the standard organ stop. If you have an organ going out of tune, which many of them are at this time of year, this is the stop that I would advise using most. It really doesn't let you down. An organ that maybe hadn't been tuned for 5 years could probably sound good just using the open diapason. The pipes are on this wonderful facade. After the open diapason, the voix celeste, a lovely undulating stringy sound, makes this organ extremely versatile. The thing that works really well with the voix celeste, the solitional. Put them together and you get a really nice undulating tone. I'll show you in a moment. After the strings, we have an 8-foot flute called a Lieblich Gedackt. Very, very basic, bare flute sound, which is matched an octave higher by this other flute. A very gentle sound. And it has a louder sister stop, the principal. Finally, a 15th, which plays 2 octaves above 8 foot. So a full chorus without any reeds, trumpets and oboes, cornopians, trombones. You don't need those here. In fact, in village churches, they'd just go out of tune so quickly that they'd be hardly usable. I'd venture to say that this is the perfect village church organ. And showing off the warm, rich strings and open diapason here at White Parish. A piece which takes us to Paris in 1890. This is one of the last works composed by César Franck, Noel. Darkness has firmly set in here at White Parish. So instead of saying any more, in the warmth of this wonderful space, one final carol, using that full range of the instrument, long ago prophets knew.